Welcome to the latest edition of Tools Unleashed. Today we're taking a look at Maker's stain pads, the Canyon Fire Tools MicroMag adjuster, and the Stupid Simple Tools saw calibrator. Unleash the tools. First up, we have Maker's stain pads. They retail for $19.99 for 12 to 16 applicators, or $85 for 120 to 160 applicators. These samples were sent to me for free, and I like them so much that we're going to be running some ads with them this year. The pad features a unique combination of microfiber on the outside and a soft foam interior. They come in fairly large sheets, which you can cut into anywhere from 6 to 8 pieces. They cut easily with scissors, and the cut edge does need to be cleaned up a little bit so that you don't get fuzz in your finish. I like to brush it off with my fingers and then use a little masking tape to make sure it's all gone. If you want to get nuts, you could use a flame. Now from here, you just dip it into your finish and go to town. So these guys sent me a sample maybe about a year ago, and I kind of dismissed the product because it was called a stain applicator, and I don't really apply much stain. But then my brother's desk came along, and I had to apply a lot of stain. I used it and saw that the distribution of the stain was really nice and even. And then I looked at the marketing language and saw that they actually intend these to be used with clear finishes too, and then it had my interest. So I tried it with a wiping varnish, and I quickly noticed that these things are a huge upgrade over my trusty old folded shop towel. The foam interior drinks up so much finish that it was taking at least twice as long between dips into the finish bowl. And something about the foam and the microfiber combination made it so that the finish is distributed nice and evenly, and you just get more consistent results. You see, one of the challenges with a wiping varnish finish is getting a nice streak-free appearance on something like a big tabletop. In fact, I have a whole video in the Wood Whisperer Guild about this very topic because it does require a little bit of nuance to get it right. And anybody who's tried to do a tabletop with a wiping varnish finish in like a satin or semi-gloss, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You end up with this streakiness in a surface. And what I think happens is it's about hand and finger pressure, and then also about the material you're using. So when you have a folded up paper towel, or you have something like a cotton rag, you tend to lay the finish down a little bit unevenly. Your finger and hand pressure can lead to some areas where you just don't have as thick of a film in that dried film, and it ends up with a streak and striping pattern. So you have to be careful with that. What I found with these guys is that it's kind of like finishing in easy mode. It seems to distribute the finish so much more evenly and consistently that I just don't really have to think about it as much. So once I realized how good these were, that's when I approached the company about advertising. We don't take advertisements from companies who have products that we don't believe in. So when something is this good, I want to tell you about it. Now, because I can be kind of frugal about stuff like this, I want to get more than one use out of these pads. I usually just wrap the applicator in my glove when I'm done, and that blocks off the air and leaves the pad usable the next day. I also usually have a dry section of the pad that can be used for a future coat as well. I will say though that the final coat, I usually like to use a fresh applicator. Now, because we're working together, we were able to secure a 15% discount when you use the code TWW at checkout. Now, the one I'm using a lot is the 1/2-inch version, but they do have a double thick 1-inch version, as well as more traditional looking stain pads that actually make great cat pillows. Check them out at makers.tools. Next up, we have the Canyon Fire Tools T-Fence MicroMag adjuster. It retails for $110, but also requires you purchase a MagSwitch 95-pound magnet, which usually sells for about $38. The sample was sent to me for free, and while they don't have an affiliate program, I will provide an Amazon affiliate link for the magnet. Now here's how this works, and it's quite clever. The embedded rare earth magnet attaches to any standard T-square fence. The other side uses the MagSwitch magnet to lock onto your fence rail. So it moves back and forth easily when not in use, but you can lock it down when you need to dial something in. With the fence unlocked, you could rotate the thumb wheel 5/8 of an inch in each direction for a total of 1 1/4 inches of movement. So if you're really sneaking up on a measurement, no more of that tap, tap, tap business. You can simply make your test cut, unlock the fence, and then use the adjuster to push or pull the fence as needed. It can be used on other tools too if the components are ferrous metal, and as you can see, it worked perfectly on my bandsaw. They also sell these little sticky back metal tabs called iron chips that you can put on any tools that maybe have a plastic or aluminum fence. Now, I actually think this gadget is pretty slick. Typically with something like this though, my problem is remembering that I have it. I'm so used to just doing a tap tap set, do a test cut, tap tap. I've gotten pretty good at that. So remembering that I have it is the challenge, but the good thing is because it attaches to the fence and is always there, it's going to be hard to forget that I have it. So we'll see how it goes as I incorporate it into my work, but I do think this is going to be pretty darn handy. Now, before you guys start storming the castle, we need to talk about the price here. It's $150 all in. That's pretty pricey. But the thing is, this is made in the USA. And I know a lot of you, judging from the comments, are really big about that. You want to know where these things are manufactured. This is made by a guy named Dustin in Nebraska. So it's about as American as you can get, but the price reflects that. And I sure hope that the people who tell me they want to support made in the USA are not the same people complaining about pricing, because those two viewpoints aren't exactly compatible. Things are just more expensive made by an individual one-man shop than they will be by a major company who is sending everything overseas. So it is what it is, and if you like the way this looks, this is really, I don't know that there's much like this. You guys tell me, because I don't know all the products on the market. Is there anything similar to this on the market right now? I think it's pretty cool. Anyway, if you'd like to learn more and you want to support a small maker, go to canyonfiretools.com. And finally, today we have another table saw focused device, the Stupid Simple Tools Saw Calibrator. It retails for $73.99. The sample was sent to me for free, and while the company doesn't have an affiliate program, I will include an Amazon affiliate link if you'd like to make a purchase and help support us at the same time. The Saw Calibrator is pretty straightforward. It drops right into your miter slot for checking alignment. You can snug up the fit using these two screws, which push out a couple of spring-loaded balls until the unit slides forward and back with no slop. You could then use the square and the dial indicator to check the fence position to make sure that it's parallel with the miter slot, or you can use it to check alignment of the table with the blade. So in use, this thing really works well. I actually had to do something with my table saw recently that caused me to move my fence, so I had to do a full realignment, and this is the tool that I used to do it. Had no problems whatsoever, worked like a charm. Ultimately, it's a good one of these. It's got a great aesthetic, it's fun to use, it's very satisfying, and seems well constructed. And while I'm not really doing a deep dive comparative review here, I do owe it to you guys to give you a little bit of perspective. Maybe you're new to woodworking and you think you absolutely need something like this to tune up your table saw, which you don't. It can help, but you don't need it. And I need to make sure you know that there are other options out there. So this guy costs $74 and it does basically two jobs. And honestly, Amazon is just littered with options that do those same two jobs and cost about half as much in the $30, $35 range. Now, of course, when you buy the bottom of the barrel crap on Amazon, you know, sometimes you get what you pay for and the reviews are mixed, but you also may find one that just works. But there is a proven performer in this space in a tool called the Align-It. This one actually does 4 functions, including the jointer and the planer, and it costs about $6 more. They also have a deluxe kit that you can get that's over $100. Does a whole bunch of things you probably don't really need in a wood shop, but if you want to dig down into that stuff, you can do it. I wouldn't call the design stupid simple, but I would call it functional. So just another option. So you can check out the Saw Calibrator at stupidsimple.tools, and they've got a bunch of other things there. Honestly, they just look like cool people making some cool stuff in St. Petersburg, Florida, so go check them out. Well, that's interesting. We had 2 companies today with a .tools domain extension. That's the first time I'm seeing that, so I don't know, thought it was funny. Anyway, thank you for watching, everybody. Hopefully you found this informative and helpful, and if you have your own experiences with any of these tools or their competitors, feel free to leave a comment. We love to see it, and it helps everybody understand the broader scope of product offerings that are out there. And of course, if you'd like to see more of this stuff, it always helps if you subscribe and click like and let us know. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time. Boop, boop, be-do. Check 1, 2. Boop, boop, be-do. Oh man, it's crooked.